All right, welcome to SwineTime podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Spencer Wayne, and we're here again. Today I have a special guest. All our guests are special, but you're maybe extra special. I don't know. Guest today is Kara Hayden. Kara is one of our swine vets here on staff. She works out of the Eastern Iowa office, and I've brought her in to talk about social media, in particular her TikTok account.
Yeah.
So before I go talking about all the stuff I know, which is not a lot, I should just turn it over to you. Why don't you, Kara, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe set the story up we want to cover here, and I'll let you talk now.
Yeah. So my name is Kara. So I've been a vet with Pipestone for 7 years, associate veterinarian. Prior to that, I was raised on a pig farm. So I've always had pig farming in my background. My dad, my brother, and my sister are all pig farmers. And so I have always loved pig farmers. I think that they're so important for the community and that they have a really cool story that they can tell. And so when Hannah and Molly from marketing kind of asked me if I would be willing to do some social media stuff, I was like, absolutely, I would love to. So it's really fun. So basically I get to be a veterinarian and then take my phone with me, film things, and make videos for social media.
Okay. So Kara, I've known you for several years since you've come on staff here, but I've never mentioned you to my daughters. And my daughters are 13 and 16. But at a sleepover event a month ago, my one youngest daughter, I think, one of her friends said, "Hey, have you seen this really awesome TikTok?" And I said, she was talking to me because she knew I worked with pigs. And I said, "What is it?" She goes, "It's this lady. She's a vet. She works with pigs and she has pig TikToks." And I thought, what? And I looked at it and said, "Well, it's Kara." She was showing me your TikToks. And I thought, really? And like little girls, 13-year-olds, that had no connection with the hog industry or really agriculture, were looking at TikToks that you had posted. And I thought, this person that I'm interviewing right now has tremendous reach. And I compare that to our podcast, this podcast we're recording right now, which has a reach of like hundreds, maybe, on a good day. And so it's a totally different reach out into reaching people. You have a massive reach. Before we get into anything first, can you just go through some of your stats on like how many people you've reached?
Yeah. So we have a couple different platforms. We have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And so we kind of started there because I'm a millennial and that made sense to me. And so those platforms, we have about 5,000 followers to those platforms. And then my husband is a high school teacher. And so he is much more aware of what's hip and cool. And he said, you should do TikTok. So posted a couple videos to TikTok. I think it was in like October of last year. And so to date, I can't tell you to date, but last 60 days, engagement's been 4.5 million views, 246,000 followers, 4.5 million likes, and then a couple thousand comments. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy the number of people you can reach. So I posted a video last night that has 159,000 views right now.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a super cool platform, and I love it because my goal was not to reach ag people so that we can all pat ourselves in the back about how good we do raising our pigs. Mm-hmm. It was to reach people who have no clue what happens on a pig farm.
Yeah. So this podcast will go primarily to people that are interested in pigs, but no further. My daughters will never listen to this podcast, but they watch your TikTok. So, I know all about cool hip stuff for sure, but some people out there might not. So
sure.
What is a TikTok?
Yes. So I had to explore TikTok too. So, so my husband explained to me what it was, but it's basically a platform. So if you make a video on TikTok, you can make a video that's up to a minute long, and you basically like hashtag it with things. And then other people who have liked those hashtags or been interested in videos like that in the past, they get it sent to what's called their For You page. So if you're just on TikTok, you're not creating content, if you just open it up, it opens to a For You page, and it just sends you video after video after video after video after video. And depending on what you like and comment on, it sends you videos that you will like more. So it sends you content. So it's really different from a Facebook or Instagram where you pick who you want to follow, or it's your friend, and then you go and look at their page. Mm-hmm. This is they just send people content. So, and somehow the pig farming content gets sent to all kinds of people.
Okay.
So.
Well, I watched my daughter's TikToks a few times when they've been doing the TikTok or whatever,
Yeah.
however the young people say it. So they're looking at it, and it looks like a lot of dancing, and there's music in the background, and cool little things, and some video editing that makes things happen at different speeds. And if you don't, or do you do that? No, I tell you what, I've seen one where you're doing like some repetitive motion with the pig, and it was cool.
Oh,
music
yeah.
to it. What was yours?
I do a little bit of that. Most of it is just pretty simple videos in pig farms, but sometimes I'll do like cutaways or things where you change place or time. Sometimes, but usually they're pretty simple videos. So I have found that people just really like videos that include pigs. So as long as my video has a pig in it, it generally does pretty good.
Okay. So you're like, was it Grumpy Cat several years ago, which you're probably too young to remember. That was like the first internet cute animal.
Yeah.
Now you've got the Grumpy Cat of today.
Yeah,
okay.
It's pigs.
So people like it. It's short videos. Some editing could be involved. Was there a real steep learning curve when you had to do it? Or was it just you recording it and said that looks good? Or did you have to get some technique refinement of knowing how to do it?
I would say I wish that I could say that this was like some sort of production that we like write scripts and like really decide what we're going to do. But honestly, it's very organic. I'm on farm with people and it's like, oh, hey, they're moving to Pharaoh's house. Let me film this. And then maybe I'll speed it up or maybe I'll put it in slow-mo or add music to it or whatever. But it's pretty organic. It's whatever's going on is what I film.
Okay. So I've never heard any negative comments from anybody that I know about like, oh, that was inappropriate or anything else. Do you worry about, like, I'm on a farm, there's all this sensitivity about videos of pigs and what could look bad. Have you ever had how do you govern yourself and like, I don't want to show that, or this, I need to make sure I present this in an accurate and truly good light that it is. How do you govern yourself on how you do TikTok videos?
Yeah, so I just try to make sure that if I were a person who didn't know something about the swine industry, that something that I show, it's only a 1-minute video, so you can't explain a lot. And so it has to be just really simple. And so I focus on really simple things. One thing that I focus a lot on is making sure like the lighting is good, because you can be filming something awesome that's happening, but if it's happening in a dingy barn, it doesn't feel like it's a good setting. And so I don't know, I kind of just film everything, Spencer, but I look at it and just decide, if I were not in the swine industry, would this scare me about what's going on? And if I can't explain something in 1 minute, then I don't film it.
Okay.
So
good. And that's a good rule of thumb, I would say. If you got to make sure you're putting yourself in the position of my 13-year-old daughter, anybody that doesn't know, like, what's she going to see?
Yep. I have to assume that they will not watch any of my other videos that could give something context. So I try to make every video a standalone video.
Okay. Now, I said I've never heard anything bad. And what I have seen is awesome. But I know when I talked to you a few months back, you said, oh, you don't know the half of the bad feedback you get from certain parts of the population watching this. You get negative detractors out there that are critical, or what kind of feedback do you get that's not good?
Yeah. So one time I was like, Molly, I'm just so sick of like vegans posting on my page. And Molly was like, Kara, it's a video that has 3.5 million views. It has 30,000 comments, and like 4,000 comments are bad. Like, really, you're reaching a ton of people and they're learning a lot through that. And there's very few negative comments. So I always have to keep it in context. But there are always going to be vegans that post things like, you're a murderer, you should not kill pigs, just stuff like that. And that's fine. It doesn't bother me because I know what my goals are, right? Like, my goal is not to post a TikTok and have anybody be like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to start eating meat, right? Like, that's not the goal. The goal is to educate people about where their food comes from and to showcase how much our producers care about their pigs.
Right.
Like, those are my only two goals. And so as long as I'm accomplishing those, if there's a vegan that is detracting or telling lies, I just feel totally fine to delete them, block them entirely, or just reply and say, like, you are very wrong about that. Here's the truth.
Okay.
So it used to bug me more, but now I just kind of like laugh about it.
Sure.
So, but I think you need to know what your goals are, right? So if there's a producer out there who wants to start making social media, just know what your goals are. And your goal probably isn't going to be to convince people to eat meat, right? It's probably going to be to just showcase what an awesome farmer you are.
Yeah.
So
before we started recording here, I was mentioning on YouTube, different platform, Millennial Farmer and Larson Farms are two, I would say, widely followed YouTube accounts where they just show farming, and they're both cropping operations, no livestock, but just the people that tune in. I've talked to both those parties, and it's like they get a tremendous amount of viewership of people who have no knowledge of agriculture, and they're fascinated by it. Same thing I imagine with this. How many videos have you posted total?
Oh, that's a super good question. I post 2 to 5 videos a week, usually 2 to 3 a week since October. So
Okay.
A lot.
Whatever the math is on that, it's been a lot more than these podcasts.
Yeah, a lot.
So you run out of material when you're on the farm. You say, "Oh, wow, she's farrowing. I should show pigs being born," but I've done that twice. Or you have to search for new stuff, or does it just naturally come with here's an opportunity, here's another one?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll be like, God, what am I going to film today? But it feels like there's always something, right? Like there's just so much people don't understand. I've done 3 videos now about sort boards, like red sort boards, and people find that fascinating. That's what we use to move pigs.
Really?
Like showing them moving a sow with a sort board, showing them moving piglets with a sort board, showing them sort pigs with a sort board.
Really?
And people are just like, wow, that's a super cool tool. So just when I think that I'm running out of material, then there's always stuff to do about sustainability. There's always more videos I could do about part. There's always more videos I could do about the financial side. But it just seems like people are so unaware. I've done a series about like, this is what a piglet looks like at birth. This is what a piglet looks like at market weight. You know, just really basic. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there will ever be an end to the availability of content.
I would have never thought that sort panels would be like a topic of concern or interest, like sort panels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Drippers. I mean, I can't tell you the parts of ventilation that people find completely fascinating. So flooring, I've done so many videos about why we have the flooring we have. And people just find it totally fascinating.
Okay. TikTok, mostly young people, but not exclusively? Or how would you break down who your viewers are? So my viewership is about 75% female and about 70% US. And then the rest would be people abroad. But it does not give me a good breakdown of age. But of people who comment, it is a very broad range of ages that I see. Okay. So a lot of young people. Okay, so that's who's watching it, and I'm interested in because I'm just interested in things, and I think the people that are listening to this would find it interesting. But have you gotten anybody from the industry, anybody just like me or somebody, a peer or somebody that's not a young, like my daughter's watching this, that are not TikTok people that are really curious about this, where they wanted to ask you like, how do you do this, or has that been limited, or how do you? Yeah, so I get actually a lot of comments from people who raise pigs in other countries. And they're like, this is so cool. And we'll engage in a conversation about how different it is. There's a guy in Poland. I just had somebody, I'm trying to think of what country somebody else was from. But yeah, I've had a number of things like that. And then there's been some National Pork Board people kind of watch some of my videos. And that has kind of opened some doors. I get to sit on a committee for them now, which is awesome because I get to see market research, which has helped me kind of decide some of the videos that I've put out the last couple weeks. But I mean, there's definitely people who ask questions and really want to know more. And usually what I do is I don't respond very much in the comments. I will say, I'll make a video about that. And then I'll make a video. Okay. So. The other thing I know about TikTok is there's people that are TikTok famous and they buy a expensive house in Malibu. Or something like that. Are you TikTok famous yet where you're monetizing this? And you can monetize it. So you can monetize. It's not very much money. So, but yeah, the TikTok famous thing. So I said my husband is a high school teacher. He had one of his students come up to him in like November of last year and was like, in front of the whole class, Mr. Hayden, do you know that your wife is like uber TikTok famous? And he was like, what? So yeah, I wouldn't consider myself TikTok famous. In the ag world, there are basically no other people in the swine industry. So I'm probably the most famous swine person on TikTok. I will take that as a title, but maybe you're the only one. The only one that I found. So I have followed a couple other people or like, people have asked me questions about pigs that have been like, I think this might be a pig farmer. And they will occasionally post videos about their farm, but it's mostly like personal videos. So I have not found another pig producer, pig veterinarian, pig farmer that's posting on TikTok. So if anybody is listening, I would love, 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 love to have more pork producers get on TikTok. There are a lot of dairy people. There are a lot of cattle people that are spreading the word about what they do, but the swine industry, it's very few sharing our story on TikTok. Okay. Is there a next TikTok or what's next for this kind of a thing? I asked you a little bit ago and you said, no, TikTok's got some staying power. Do you think that Is this going to be a long-term trend for at least for a while here?
I think so. I think TikTok has some staying power. So I'm married to a high school teacher. So if there's other trends that pop up, I think Pipestone has been really great. The marketing department has been like, yeah, if you want to try something, go for it. So we'll absolutely go for anything new that comes up. But right now, TikTok has been an awesome platform and a great way to reach people.
Okay. Did I forget anything? Anything you want to comment on about this?
Yeah, I would just say, like, producers, you guys actually have a better opportunity than me, because I go to all these different farms every day. There's no continuity in my videos. If you are a pig farmer who works in a pig barn every day, you have an awesome opportunity to just make a video every day about what you do or what you're doing to care for your videos or care for your pigs today. There's just so much place for that. I think coming from a female veterinarian, that reaches a certain audience, but coming from an actual producer, I think that helps kind of personalize, like, these are the faces of the people who are raising our food. So if you want to make a TikTok, it's really easy. And I would love to promote you. So if you're a pig farmer out there that wants to make TikTok videos, send one to me. I will tag you and promote your video and try to help you to get followers. So I have one client with 2 teenage kids that prior to the TikTok thing never went into pig barns. And I went to his barn the other day and both of his teenage kids were in the pig barn with him. And he was like, they want to make a TikTok with you. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, it's awesome, first of all, that got your kids in a pig barn and interested again in what you do, but awesome that they want to make TikToks. So I think anyone can do it.
Okay, good. And to learn how to do TikTok?
They're super easy. Yeah. Yeah.
Just find a young person to show
Find a young person, you upload a video. There's editing software in TikTok that's really easy. So yeah, they make it really user-friendly.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Kara. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions about social media and how to do it, somebody in our office will direct you to Kara.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to her directly. Her name is Kara Hayden. She's with the Pipestone Vet Services out of Eastern Iowa by Independence. And she's here today. Fortunate for us.
Yeah. And if you have TikTok and want to follow me, it's Kara.Hayden or Kara Hayden Pig Vet. And then Instagram would be Kara.Hayden.pig.vet. And then Facebook would be Kara Hayden Pig Vet. So.
All right. Thank you, Kara. All right, our listeners, thank you for joining us today. And we invite you to come back for our next topic on the next posting. Thank you. SwineTime podcast was created for the pork industry and individual pork producers around the country. Hosted by Dr. Spencer Wayne with the Pipestone Veterinary Services. The podcast contains pork industry news, advancements in animal care, and how to enhance your productivity. Monthly podcasts are available on Spotify, Google Music, iTunes, Anchor, and on www.pipestone.com.